back to 30 Minutes of Madness, Young Queen Broadcasting. It's your girl, Millie Maddness, and I'm here with none other than DJ Soulbuck. So we had a really interesting conversation about how you started, your family history, your career. I mean, we were talking about how different it is DJing back then as DJing right now. I mean, back then the DJ was not just the DJ, he was the MC. I mean, he did it all back then. He was everything. And nowadays, you know, sometimes you have the DJ in the back and you don't really see the DJ. Sometimes they have a separate MC or things like that. I mean, this is just some of the things that are different. I mean, what are some of the things maybe you miss about the time, you know, how things have changed?
I would think, like, when you used to see flyers back then, like, a lot of people would just show up because a certain DJ was spinning.
Yeah.
Like I used to, like, I've watched documentaries, like, and seen old flyers, like Grandmaster Flash was playing at this spot. So everybody get excited just to go see that.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, it's like a lot of people will just go because such and such is hosting. So then they'll just have, like, all right, the DJs there, be like, all right, well, he might be good, but I'm really going because of the host.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's kind of like we play the back now, and then sometimes we're like just background music now, and then
yeah,
we got pushed to the back a little bit. Even just like being on stage with like groups now too. Just like a lot of rap artists really don't even have a DJ on there. I'm actually excited if I do see one up there. I'm like, wow, they actually got a real DJ up there. It's like some of the younger acts out there, like I think it's Logic. Logic has a DJ on his show. J. Cole, of course. I think Kendrick has one. I mean, I don't mind the whole band thing because you know I did it with part of my history is I used to DJ for Doodlebuck of Diggable Planets, and he had a side group which was called the Cosmic Funk All Star. So that's pretty much right there was my big break in like 2004, 2005. So I'm a part of that whole Diggable Planets history because I also got to be around the two other members where I think our first show was at Howard University where we opened up for A. Marie. And then then he like took me out to Chicago the first time. And then like Diggable had a sold out show at like this big auditorium. But I got to do the after party. So it was like I got to, you know, sit in VIP with them, but also do the whole entire after party, which was amazing. But you know, things like that, like which I think, you know, a DJ also, how should I put that again? A DJ should also be a part of the group, so to say, with these new rap artists. I think that's important. Because we saved a lot of rappers' lives, as you can see. So I just think a part of that culture is very important still, and you know, just not just playing off a DAT player, or I mean the band is cool or whatever, but I mean the DJ should also be an important part of that stage as well, because you know that comes from the beginning of the culture. So.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, that is very deep, and it's so true. And a lot of people don't really see it that way, or they don't realize, or they don't understand that that's the dynamics of it. That's how it should work. That's how that's how it started, and that's shown and proved that, you know, results.
And like, carry on that whole tradition.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to carry on that tradition, I think.
What are some of like the, you know, some other of your highlights? Like I know you worked with, I mean, I love Diggable Planets. That is big right there. Like I'm not going to sing the song because I'm not good at that, but I love their song.
Highlights, like that. I think, let's see, we went to, there was one show, I was in Cosmic Funk All Stars, but on the bill was Ladybug Mecca also had her side project. It was us, Far Side, and Digital Underground. We had to perform at this college. Yeah. But it was like maybe 3 to 4 months after Katrina had hit. So only the downtown part was open, and of course the college part. So actually, you know, we was out there for like 3 days. So, you know, the first night we went to the club, I met Digital Underground. We hung out, had drinks, whatever. So I remember the promoter had picked us up, and then he said, you know, hey, do you want to check out the After Effects? So I'm like, all right, you know. At this time, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. So he takes us to go get breakfast at this little small diner spot. So we eat there, and then he starts driving us around because now the sun's coming up. So you want to talk about where you would just sober up in like 5 minutes, and it's like, it honestly was a wake-up call for me because it just looked like a whole third world country. Like just torn houses like for just miles and miles. And just seeing buildings that had water damage all the way to the top of the roof. I even met some people that actually lost family members in the storm. So they told me their side of the story, how the storm actually went. So it was definitely like a awakening experience for myself. I
Wow. Oh, so, yeah, that just gave me the chills because I can't even imagine how being there and having that, seeing that image, you know, that had to be.
So I would say a memorable moment there. That was one. I went on tour with Digable Planets as a tour DJ in Canada. So I got to do 6 shows out there. And I think that was like the biggest one was our first show was in Toronto. And like we had like the biggest struggle getting over the border. So we had to turn away on one. So then we had to go around to another one. Have somebody fax us over the important paperwork to get us over there. So then by the time we got into downtown Toronto, because mind you, it's a festival, so it's like right there in the middle of Toronto. Center
City, yeah.
So like I think it was a company that was like their own version of MTV.
Yeah.
So they had from every group you could possibly think of, like old rock groups like Devo and all these bands playing all day. So we're like the second to the last act. So when we get there, we checked into our hotel. Now we got literally like 20 minutes to go down the street and get on stage. So I remember Doodlebuck tells me, he's like, how about you just go down and then set everything up and then send me a text. So I was like, all right. So I run down the street, book bag, laptop and everything. So I remember I go to the back. So I told the guy, I said, yeah, so I'm the DJ for Digable Planets. So I said, I'm here to like set up my equipment. Do you want to talk about the fastest hospitality where it was just overwhelming for me? It was like, okay, come here through me. He pulls like 2 guys. I need you to set his equipment up. Ask what type of turntables he want. So they had like 5 setups they want. They was like, do you want this one? Do you want a certain mixer?
Oh my God.
What do you want on stage to drink? So all this is going behind stage, woman. And next thing I know, like within 5 minutes, I was just set up with whatever I wanted. And then we just came and just rocked the show. And it was like, like literally 6,000 people out front. Wow. And after that, the headliner was Far Side, and then that was probably the most amazing night, and it was on Father's Day too.
Oh my God, that was awesome. That had to be so intense.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice do you have for upcoming DJs who want to get in the industry? Like,
I would say do a lot of research on the DJ culture. Not necessarily you have to do it, but learn about the ones that came from the beginning. It don't matter what type of DJ it was. It could be a guy who was like the biggest disco DJ at Studio 54. Learn about, what he went through and what Flash went through, and learn about just the whole history of DJ culture, and learn how to broaden your range of music. Just don't stick to one type of genre. Start small. You can also throw your own parties. Try to, a lot of times in your own neighborhood, they're probably just going to just turn your nose up like, yeah, whatever. But, just go out and just study people.
Yeah.
And if you can just get put on somewhere, the best way to do it now is just pretty much like social media, put your mixes on there. You say, hey, I got these mixes, I'm available for such parties. And then, that's how it starts.
Absolutely. So do your research. So where can people find you?
On Instagram, it's DJ Soulbuck. It's one word. It's DJ SOULBUCK. Facebook, it's I am Soulbuck, and Twitter is I am DJ Soulbuck. Well,
DJ Soulbuck, thank you so much for coming on our show, and I mean, I wish you the best, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what's next for you. All right. So thank you so much. Again, 30 Minutes of Madness here with my boy DJ Soulbuck. Do your research, and we're gonna give you a little taste of what he's done after this break. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's your girl Millie Maddness on Quinn Broadcasting. See you next time.
And you thought that keeping your vehicle clean is an alarming chore. Just imagine keeping the shiny red or yellow fire trucks in your city parade ready. The Cumberland County Improvement Authority has installed a state-of-the-art truck washing specialty site on the grounds of the County Recycling Center. Centrally located in Cumberland County on Jesse Bridge Road between Sherman and Landis, wash away the soot, smoke, and grime to protect those expensive finishes. It is a big job to keep trucks of all sizes, from fire truck size to cargo hauling vehicles, displaying a pleasant appearance. The Cumberland County Improvement Authority keeps up with appearances. Municipalities large and small can participate in the shared services initiatives like the official vehicles washing facility. It saves taxpayer dollars, otherwise spent on for-profit car washes. Check out the truck washing installation adjacent to the County Recycling Center today. For more information, visit ccia-net.com.
If you haven't been to Bruni's Breakfast and Burgers yet, what are you waiting for? They offer a unique and fresh take on breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Formerly Torelli's and Billy D's, they are keeping tradition alive with their version of the special sauce. Burgers and breakfast served all day. With your busy schedule in mind, they offer takeout and fast and friendly eat-in service. Call 856-765-5063 and they'll have your order ready and waiting for you. Check them out on Facebook to see the menu and their rave reviews. Bruni's Breakfast and Burgers is located in the Millville Arts District, 423 North High Street.
Cedar Lane Feeds in Elmer has everything you need to keep your livestock happy and healthy. They've got food, medications, grooming supplies, treats, and toys for animals of all sizes. For indoor pets or outdoor pasture, Cedar Lane Feeds has you covered. Farmers, be sure to stop by on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. for their weekly livestock auction. Cedar Lane Feeds is open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's Cedar Lane Feeds in Elmer.
Are you tired of people talking about the past? We are too. We are taking TV to the next level. On QBC TV 22, we have an amazing selection of original content, starting from local celebrity interviews to straight up madness. This isn't just our TV station, it is your local TV station. Turn to QBC TV 22 right now to see what we are watching together.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Welcome to 30 Minutes of Madness here on Quinn Broadcasting. It's your girl, Millie Maddness, here with my boy, the DJ original, DJ Soulbuck. How you doing?
Good. Good.
Welcome to the show. I'm so honored to have you.
Thank you.
I am so excited that you're on the show. I have to say, you have such an amazing history when it comes to DJing. You are so original. Your style, just everything, so many things that you've done. I'm so excited. So let's get this party started. Okay. Let's talk about you. Right. I want to know, let us know how you got started take us on the journey of how you got started DJing.
All right, I started, and I actually have a day. I actually started. It was April 10, 1982.
Wow.
So
day and everything.
my father used to be a singer. He had a band called Gino Kirby and the Dynamic Scorpions. He was supposed to get signed to a deal, but that didn't fall through because it was a shady deal, whatever.
Yeah.
So he got into DJing. It was him and my Uncle Raymond. But also on my mom's side, it was my Uncle Mike. So personally, I got to watch, my dad. He was like from the whole funk and disco era. So a lot of times I would just sit in the room and he'd sit there and just play music all the time.
Yeah.
And, I didn't understand actually I didn't understand what he was doing, but I would sit there and just watch him change records all the time. And he was constantly always recording everything. So at the age of 5, I learned how to play drums. So my grandfather bought me a drum set, so I used to play drums along with the records. So eventually, I have my Uncle Mike, who's like 54 now. I would go over to my grandmom's house, and then he'd be playing all these rap songs. So I asked him, I said, well, why are they talking all the time? He was talking about, well, it's called rap music. So I was like, all right. So I would go home and ask my dad about it. So my dad's still in the whole disco thing. So then my uncle would show me, he's like, yeah, he said, they scratched the record like this.
Yeah.
So one day I decided to go in and got caught and broke one of my dad's needles. So that's when the whole thing started. So once my dad seen I had a big interest in it, of course, one night I came and sat in his room. He was playing music, smoking the cigarettes and whatever. So he said, you want to try it? So I was like, all right. So I remember it like it was yesterday. He put a tape in, he pressed record and play. He handed me 2 records. He said, all right, I'm going to just let you just play. And then he's like, this is how you cue it up. And then I did like a whole mix for like 30 minutes. And then I was like addicted after that. I think my first gig was my aunt's wedding because she eventually got married a month later. So I did it with my father.
Wow.
So she has pictures of me in a tux at 10 years, a tuxedo at 10 years old. So I got to spend for like an hour, and then my dad took over after that. So
that's so cool. Oh my God, especially for a 10-year-old, to have that experience. You're probably the coolest kid in school. Like, yeah, I'm a DJ.
Yeah, and I would go around school and tell everybody that. They'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, sure. And then around that time, I was because I'm born in I was actually born in Willingboro, but I was raised in Mahali.
Okay.
So at this time,
shout out to Mount Holly.
So at this time, we were actually living in Willingboro, so it was like every block had a DJ. So like I would walk to school, and then I would see one guy in his garage. He'd be sitting there just playing his music, whatever. I'm like, he's all right. Yeah. But at 10, you're just like, yeah, he's all right. So like my dad eventually gave me his equipment when we used to live together.
Wow.
And, he put it in my room, and I would go home and practice every day. Constant, every day, like clockwork for 2 or 3 hours.
Wow, like I could imagine. I could just vision, like you have the DJ in your room. It's like.
And he was working for, he had like a marketing job, but I think it was like he had to set up display of records at certain stores. So he would come home with like boxes of records, and he'd just be like, here, just take it up in your room and see what you like. Which I still have the records to this day. So, I have a, how can I put it? A wide range of interests in music, just like certain styles of music. I mean, of course, hip hop is always there, but like, I grew up listening to Blondie, and my father also had a friend. I also have to add this in there too. May he rest in peace, Louis Silva. He was born and raised in San Juan, so him and my dad used to do Latin cabarets together. Nice. So I got schooled on salsa music at an early age. I didn't really understand it at first, but like I would sit there and watch him and my dad like practice all the time. And they would do these cabarets where they would charge like $2 to get in, and my mom was their booking agent. So they make like $800 a night. They just go rent a hall somewhere. They charge like $2 to get in, and like everybody in the neighborhood would show up. Nice. So yeah, like my interest of music is like a real big wide range of just all types of styles of music. Anything but country. Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I was gonna say. Like, what's some of your favorite, genres to play?
Right now, or I should say, since I'm older now, I like a lot of stuff my dad brought me up on, like the whole Earth, Wind & Fire and Bar Caves. Yeah. I love all the whole Hector Lavoe and the Willie Colon stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of came to like addicted to all that too. So it's like all that stuff that kind of like, you know, I grew up listening to. Is like I listen to that more now because it seemed like it had more feeling when they did it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that.
How do you compare the difference to DJing back then to maybe how people DJ now? Like you know, back then it was just different, and now it's different.
Yeah, it's very different now. Like I said, my uncle was also a DJ too, and he also rapped. So you know, I used to watch him and his friend or listen to their tapes or whatever. So you know, he introduced me to Grandmaster Flash. I used to think Grandmaster Flash was a superhero, like at the age of 12. So my uncle would take me over. He had a friend named Harold who had like all this equipment at his house. So my uncle would just take me and I'd sit there and just watch. And I remember his garage had like just records all over the place, and then my uncle would sit there and just practice for hours.
Yeah.
And like my uncle was into like breakbeats. So my uncle always taught me, he said, if you play breakbeats, you can't let the corny part of the record come in. You got to keep this beat going. So that's how I learned. So I would say the difference between now and back then, it was just like a lot of people back then really cared about the art form. It was like more about the art form, and then it was a popularity thing because like my uncle was into it, you know, to get girls or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, he was popular, but it was more. You can tell it was like more the art form, and then more of pleasing the people. So if it was like, it might be a record that maybe it just came out, like a lot of people back then weren't afraid to test the record. Like, all right, let me just play this, see how the crowd likes it.
Yeah.
And then if there's a reaction, I'm gonna keep playing it. Like basically what I still do today. I watch a lot of, I wouldn't say all the younger generation does it. There's still some that take that risk, but there's some that you go there and then they'll just play like all the popular songs. Yeah. Too early. Yeah. Which is another thing for me. Yeah. I think that you should just do like a build up for that. Mm-hmm. But also it is another thing is like people always want to hear the song now. So it might be a popular song that you might play at the end of the night. They want to hear it as soon as they come in. So like, no, we can't play that yet. You know, we gotta wait a few minutes. I mean, but that's why I think the more of the art form is kind of missing now. It's just more like just a popularity thing. Like, all right, well, I see him do it, so I can do it too, type of thing. You know what I mean? Right. Like, everybody back then really couldn't have that pass as far as like, you know, I'm a DJ. Like you had to be like really good. Right.
And that's a big difference too, because back then, you know, you had a whole lot of equipment. Yeah. It took a whole lot. Like you really had to love being a DJ to carry all the grades to every gig that you had.
You needed help.
Like if you had more than one gig that day, I mean, I can't even imagine. And then you had to know where everything is. Yeah. It's like you know, you had to know. They were like files of records that you had to know what you're doing, where you're gonna play, and how it all blends together. And it definitely was an art form. I feel that today it's, you know, it's definitely much different because everything is digital, which is I mean, not necessarily a bad thing, because you do have everything at your fingertips, and this is the times and technology. But I feel like back then your skills were definitely tested, you know, by how well you were able to control your records and mix, and as opposed to now where, you know, a lot of stuff is a little easier these days.
It's very easy. I think. Everything's pretty much handed to you in these days and times now. So, I mean, the way I see it, it's easier to get on now than it was back then. Back then, it was like you had to go through levels to get to where you're at. Yeah, you had to prove yourself more. Yeah, it was definitely a show and prove thing. Yeah, definitely. So, and now it's, you know, but you know, the thing is that now, even with social media, a lot of people are trying to
you know, become famous on social media and all of that. But we're going to get more into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the experiences that you've had DJing and so much more. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back after these messages, and we're going to get to know Soulbuck a little better. All right. See you soon. Yeah.